Hey guys, Mark here, bringing you another Nintendo Box video, and today we're going back to doing a discussion with Benny, which is something I haven't done for a long time, and frankly, I've missed it. Hi Benny, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty fine, Marka. Yeah, pretty excited for this discussion. Let's get it going.
We're actually talking about the possibility of who is going to be next for DLC after Lucas. And we're just going to talk a bit about our top three picks for characters because recently there's been that news about the Smash ballot, and it's a real possibility that we may get the characters that we want, or in my case, not get the characters that we want. So, Benny, who's your number three pick?
So my number three pick is a Zelda character. Now, who would it be?
Oh, go on.
Tingle? Not really. Even though
Damn it!
Tingle would be awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Tingle. Wind Waker Tingle.
Yeah, that one especially. No, I think Impa is one of those characters that could be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
like the Hyrule Warriors incarnation of her. Like in that version, we really saw what she could do, and I think the Legend of Zelda in general needs to be more represented in Smash.
Totally agree.
That was really one of the most disappointing things with this version. We didn't get a single new character for some weird reason. So Impa as my number three.
That makes complete sense. I totally get you on the whole it being based off her Hyrule Warriors form because I thought that that was, to be honest, her best form to date. I liked that more so than any mainline Zelda game, and it really showed off what she could do. Also, just to kind of expand on that, I thought that we should have got Ganondorf in his Hyrule Warriors form in Smash because it would have been awesome,
Yeah.
just in general.
Yeah, I mean, they probably didn't do it because getting a character from Brawl and just, making reworking the textures and something like that is way easier than making Gandalf completely from scratch. So that's
Oh yeah.
probably why they didn't do it, but it
Oh,
would be
I'm
awesome.
completely sure. Yeah. But let's move on to my number three pick. And my number three pick is actually from a game I haven't played, but it's a series that I have played somewhat, so I guess it counts. Played, I believe, Risky's Revenge on iOS, which is how much I wanted to play it. I didn't play it on a normal system. I could only at the time play it on iOS, so I kind of struggled with the virtual touchpad. But that
Yes.
is Shantae, and I just really love her character design, and it's a character that dates back to Game Boy Color, and she's been with Nintendo ever since. And that team at Way Forward that make Shantae really have like stuck by Nintendo, and they've got a lot of faith in the company. And I think it would only be fair if Nintendo were to kind of reward Way Forward by putting Shantae in the game. And I know that a lot of fans of Smash Bros. Are also fans of Shantae. So it all would only make sense to me. And I think from the standpoint of the tone of Smash Bros., she fits in perfectly and could have some pretty cool moves with hair whips and belly dancing and other kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, uh, it's kind of like I can definitely see her being in there. The only reason why I don't think she will be in there is because she isn't that big of a character, and she's one of those characters, or like the studio is one of those studios that definitely wants to see her represented in the game, and it makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
to put her in, like from the studio's perspective, of course. Do I think it would be awesome? Well, I never really played a game she appeared in, so that's that.
No.
But
They they're pretty cool games, and I've only heard positive things about the Pirate's Curse. So I'm really looking forward to Half Genie Hero, and I do have to pick up Pirate's Curse. Definitely, I need
yes,
to play that.
of
But I
course.
think that could be really cool. It was a toss up between her and Shovel Knight, which is a game that I did really enjoy. And let's move on to your second pick, Benny. So who's your pick for number two?
All right, so if you've been on my channel for a few or like for more than a few months, you know that I'm a big Bayonetta fan or a big Platinum Games fan in general. So my number two pick of course would be Bayonetta. Now, some people say that she's a little bit too over-sexualized for Smash Brothers, but there's a simple fix Nintendo could do to get her in Smash. In the wonderful, or I can't spoil it, but basically there's a there's a
Yeah, I think you
version.
can spoil it. How old is that game now? Like 2 years old.
Alright, so I'm gonna spoil it for you guys. Basically, Bayonetta is just a really hard character to unlock in the game in the Wonderful 101. So there is Wonderful Bayonetta, and if you haven't seen it yet, it's basically this kind of chibi version of her. But yeah, she isn't obviously over-sexualized in the Wonderful 101, and I think it could work in that form. And
I think it could
obviously,
totally work.
yeah, she could also have like the normal attacks from her usual games. So it would just make the look a little bit less, how can I put it, Bayonetta-esque.
It would be less sexualized, and that's kind of calling back to a video you did God knows how long ago, which was a theory about that, which never, unfortunately, it never came to fruition. But I would also really love to see Bayonetta in there. Bayonetta would probably have been my number 2 pick, maybe number 3, no, probably been my number 3 pick, had it not been for her being really unrealistic, which is rich coming from me. Would have been really unrealistic due to her over-sexualization, but I would definitely like to see her in the game.
Bayonetta would be awesome, or Wonderful Bayonetta. We'll see though. Chances are she's not gonna be in Smash, but hey, one can dream, right? So what's your
One
number
can
two
dream.
pick?
Right, my number 2 pick is going to the Inklings. And really, I only care about the Inkling girl, but of course you need the Inkling boy in there. And there'd be a lot of ways that they could go with the alternate costumes, with the customizability of Splatoon. And it's a game that I'm excited for, and maybe it's slightly a bit premature to put the character in Smash, but I think it's a character that's made for Smash, it's a new Nintendo IP, and they've got kind of an already somewhat iconic kind of character design, and I could think of some really awesome moves you could pull off with them, changing into the squid form. It would be really cool and somewhat unique, I think, for Smash Bros.
Oh yeah, and also like the thing is, in Splatoon, for example, you only get to use 2 or 3 weapons at a time, but in Smash you
Yeah,
could have like the whole arsenal and just run around and do crazy stuff. So I can
yeah,
definitely
that's
see it
so
happening.
cool.
Yeah, doing everything. Oh my God, it would be great. It would definitely be.
It would be awesome, and it seems like it's a chance for them to do a bit of cross promotion, which is always a good thing from the company's standpoint. That's about all I have to say for the Inklings in Smash Bros. So, what is your number 1 pick, Benny?
My number one character isn't just one character, but it's just a few of the wonderful ones. Now, if you know anything, or if you know me, if you've been on my channel for a long time, you know that I love the Wonderful 101. It's my favorite Wii U game to date. Next to Bayonetta 2, I can't really decide which one is better. In terms of single player, the Wonderful 101 is definitely my favorite game. I just love that game, and I think I can't say enough good things about that game. But yeah, I hope that the wonderful ones, or some of the wonderful ones, maybe a group of like 5 people, who knows, could make it into Smash. I know that it's a little bit unrealistic because, well, the Ice Climbers didn't make it in there, so why would 3 or more characters make it in there? Maybe as Wii U exclusive, who knows? But I think that having a group of wonderful ones would be so cool because if you don't know what the Wonderful 101 is, it's basically this game where you can have a group of heroes transform into gigantic weapons. It's totally crazy, and it would fit Smash Brothers so perfectly. We even had trophies already in Smash Brothers. So, man, I just hope that
Yep,
they're in there.
that's true, and maybe a more likely solution would be that Wonder Red would be in it, and maybe for his final smash, he could have one of those big transformations, which I forget the name of,
Mhm.
and that could be awesome if you like that game. I was a bit meh on it myself, but it's something that didn't click. It was a solid game nevertheless. And unfortunately, I don't think that thing with the whole Wii U exclusivity is going to happen, because if I see anything coming with the Wii U exclusive tag on it, I could only see the Ice Climbers because they are kind of a fan favorite, it seems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Uh, we'll see though.
we'll
I,
see.
I
We'll
think
see.
they really try to make the DLC like work on the 3DS and on the Wii U because
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty hard work to even get out one character, as
exactly.
you've seen by
And
now. So,
if you think of the install base of the 3DS, they're going to try and get that on
mhm.
board. So let's move on to the final pick, which is my final pick, and it's a really unrealistic one, and it's not happening. And that, guys, is Sora from Kingdom Hearts, which is one of, if not possibly, my favourite game series. It's an awesome game series, and I think Sora should be represented. And granted, most people identify him as more of a Sony character than a Nintendo character, but I believe they've actually... Kingdom Hearts games themselves have been equally split on Nintendo and Sony devices. So in that sense, that's a good argument for it. I've got the backing of HMK, Benny,
Yeah.
so I think that's about all I need to say. You could have some awesome attacks on there, and, it would just be amazing.
And
It would just be amazing.
I never really played a Kingdom Hearts, or I never played a Kingdom Hearts game before, but from what I've seen of the series, Sora seems to have a lot of different skills and he learns a lot of different techniques in his games. So they can definitely have a very awesome moveset. Now, I think the biggest problem here is obviously licensing and that kind of stuff. Like, would Disney really give away one of their characters? Not
I
so sure.
believe that Square Enix actually owns him fully.
Fully,
I don't
alright.
believe it's Disney, but that's equally a problem because Square Enix don't really care for Nintendo that much. So, well, as they shouldn't do with how Nintendo treated them back on the NES and SNES. But yeah, I don't think that they'll license them out. There's also the point of, I believe when PlayStation All Stars came out, Sony tried to get the rights for Cloud and I believe Lightning to being the game, and Square Enix was having none of it. They straight up rejected it, so it's unlikely, but I'd just love to see it.
It would be cool. That's really all there is to it. Yeah.
It is, and that brings us to the end of the discussion, guys. If you haven't already, please go check out Benny's channel. He's a talented guy, and he's getting back to doing videos, and you will really enjoy them. There's a few great Zelda theories up there, so if you enjoy that kind of stuff, please go over to his channel, subscribe, and check him out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.